What's up? This is not like the other videos I've posted so far. We are talking about the missing identity of the guy. A mysterious figure on Limitless SMP, a small SMP server I joined short of a week ago, and I've found myself in a bunch of endeavors recently. Most recently being this mysterious guy, that most of the players refer to as a man of many resources and items that you can acquire from a price. But I wanted to come on here today to show you some of the information I've gathered and what track I'm on discovering the identity. Chapter 1. I'm going to read this word by word because it wouldn't be here otherwise. The guy is a man with a plethora of resources at their disposal. They have access to most all of the enchantments present in vanilla Minecraft. They usually demand payment for the request of gear or other resources that come from other members on the Limitless SMP, as in multiple people have access to this guy. I myself have made a request as far back as day 3 in my time in the server, and throughout the past 2 to 3 days I have experienced some things that may seem creepy, such as mysteriously receiving tools or random messages reminding me that I owe a payment. While I have no proof of the instances on the server, I have caught a few in the form of screenshots in Discord. What I mean by proof is video proof, audio proof, and some of the conversations I had with some of the other members. First instance, doubt. I had my first physical run-in with what would be presumed as a representation of the guy. But I find this to be interesting because this could most definitely be an alt account, but at the time, as you can see, Elmore and Lemon were both present, and these two will come back up later on. But everyone I knew was on the server already, so this account joining genuinely threw me off. So much so that I had decided to toss a notebook that I had been working on into a pool of lava because I was traveling in the Nether at the time. I was going around to other bases trying to figure out who might the guy be, who has access to these resources, but I found a recurring theme that most everybody has access to these villagers to get these enchantments from. So I had to move on. In the second instance, I was streaming for this one. He had joined the game just a few moments before this was captured. He followed me on my Twitch. I was genuinely shook and somewhat bothered that this person was actively watching me, because at the same time, Kelmore and Lemon and Fitz had both said something in my chat. So none of the guys that I knew were not there, but this dude was. So, yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to open another tab, but you never know. That was the second instance. Third was the payment. It started coming up. I was mining and doing some of my Minecraft stuff, builds, whatnot, and I stumbled across my very first message from the guy and first physical piece of evidence that I had on an ominous banner. Time is growing short. Make use of the fortune. One of the tools he had given me had fortune on it, and he wanted me to use it to get the diamonds for the payment. So yeah. In the fourth instance, the demand. As time pressed on, I would receive the first real piece of information, which is kind of incorrect. I got that in the ominous banner, but written, per se. And that this player is an actual player. Like, the account was logged in on and the book was written there. And it just labeled out all the items that I had owed, or in diamond form, like how much everything cost and whatnot, so I could get an actual idea of what I was supposed to be giving him. So yeah, it was becoming clear that I needed to pay up soon. Now for chapter 2, I have the discoveries and suspicions, where I began to start piecing together little things, and this is where the 3 that I have mentioned come up a few times. In this segment, I began piecing together what I had learned, what may have been happening on the server to help me discover the true identity of this guy. Many of its members, more specifically Lemon, Kelmore, and Fitz, had continued poking fun on the topic, even pointing out that other members may be the guy. This led to me developing a certain curiosity about my newfound friends, and I began to investigate further. Looking back on chat records, certain instances I had with them in person, stuff like that. So the first discovery was going back on the conversations. Now this one's going to be pretty vague because I don't have any audio recordings, but I did have some that mentioned the 3 people that are on this list, the Fitz, Kelmore, and Lemon. Kelmore had made an attempt to message the guy, or who I would assume was the guy, and was messaging Lemon. So this was my first real instance of, oh wait, that's got to be the guy. Kelmore would later respond with, I'm just messing around, man. I just did that to see if I could purposely throw you off. But the period before the slash sign is a common mistake in commands. I see it all the time when I play Hypixel. I've seen it a few times while on the server. So was this a genuine slip-up? I don't know. The horse. This actually happened yesterday. A PvP fiasco ensued between Fitz, Caribou, Lemon, and Muffin Man. The 3 versus Fitz. And I came in to check out what was happening. Fitz had jumped onto a horse that had belonged to Lemon. And I decided to shoot it down with a crossbow. And sometime later, Fitz had messaged, probably just add the horse to that guy's debt because Lemon expressed some grief over this instance. But why would I add a horse that belonged to Lemon to the guy's den? That's the real question. Maybe if he was the guy. But that remains to be determined. But as you can see, there's a screenshot here. Lemon did place the horse head, and it's just chilling there, and he mentioned how sad it made him. I repaid him with another ingot for some consolidation, but yeah. Now the third discovery, and the latest, the association. While I was reviewing some VODs on Lemon's Twitch, I discovered that he had briefly hovered over his audio settings, or to adjust the volumes, and I saw in the very bottom, I'm the guy. Same spelling, same spacings between it with the underslashes. So it allowed me to actually realize that Lemon has some association with this person, and that this person is very real. That it might be between him and another person. That remains to be determined as well. Still a lack of evidence. No, I did try to commit an experiment of some sort. There's not enough proof on this because I did not record myself saying anything on purpose. I didn't have the hindsight to actually record it. I didn't want to stream it though because I didn't want them to know this, but there's not much to note here. I tried playing around my words with the 3 players, Fitz, Kelmore, and Lemon. I had told one of them that I had received the note from the guy, and I put the payment in a chest in front of my gate. I then proceeded to tell the other 2, Kelmore and Lemon, that I did not make any payments. Of course, I could be off a little bit, but either way, between the 3 of them, I told them different things to see if I could maybe catch one of them slipping up through a miscommunication, and I believe I did because I received a second invoice for the same set of tools with the same note. One of them must have not realized that I didn't actually... I did receive the note and that I did make the payment. The hard part is that it only really narrowed it down to those 3 because I only mentioned it to those 3. So I'm still stuck trying to figure out who it actually is. But there's a 1 in 3 chance I can get it. Unless it's all 3 of them, I don't know. In conclusion, I'm led to believe that this mysterious figure may be the server owner himself, Fitz, the highly technological member Lemon, or the nonchalant Kelmore. These 3 personalities may very well be the total sum of the guy. Fitz has the administrator capabilities for those server reminders that I received. Kelmore is the one who brought him into the picture in the first place, and Lemon has shown signs of possibly being the guy with previous evidence, such as his villagers that he has access to, the grief over the horse and Fitz's message, and everything previous. But yeah, it's still to be determined, and I will make sure to post an update whenever I find out. Thanks for tuning in.